Alright everyone, welcome back, and today I've got another very exciting comic review to do. So yeah, this is the first issue of the new James Tynion run on Batman, and I am quite excited because it has been a long while since I have bought or read a new Batman comic. I read a decent amount of the last run, written by our good friend Tom King, who I am not a big fan of. Yeah, I don't want to get off in too much of a tangent, but the Tom King Batman run is quite possibly the worst version of Batman I've ever fucking read. It's just absolutely atrocious. It's a video for another day, but he had this obsession with deconstructing the character so much so that he barely felt like Batman anymore near the end, and yeah. I'm glad he's gone, and I'm glad he left early, and we are now with James Tynion the Fourth, who is writing this new run. He's written Batman before. He actually was the main writer on Detective Comics for a while, which is sort of the secondary Batman book, which I've only read a handful of issues of, so I only know a little bit of his previous work. But I think, but from what I've seen in this first issue, I think his era is going to be a lot more prosperous and a lot more interesting than Tom King's whiny, sad, depressing. So, get right off to the bat. First thing that I want to say about this book, other than the writing, which, the story itself is really, really good. It takes place soon after the Tom King run ended, whatever. And the main thing to take out of that is that in that run, Alfred died. Yes, he was killed, very brutally as well. And now he's dead. So Alfred's dead, and Bruce Wayne is, having to cope with that. And we actually see that quite a lot in this issue. That's like one of the big parts, or the big things with this issue, is we get to actually see Batman grieving, which is actually handled really well. So even though I was not a big fan of them killing off Alfred at the time, it at least opened up the possibility for this story to take place, and it's interesting so far what we've seen. So basically he's tracking down some mercenaries whilst there's a heist going on. Catwoman's there as well. There's some stuff going on with them, and there's these mercenaries coming from all over to track down and fight the Batman, including the main man himself, Deathstroke. And yes, when I saw him appear at first, I was very excited because I love when Batman fights Deathstroke. It's always it's one of the most exciting fucking matchups. And I'll get on to what happens later on in the story, but basically he takes them all down, and the way he takes them down is really, really creative. It's not the first time I've ever seen this type of idea done, but basically he has his tools and shit. He uses this tool where it's like a smoke bomb thing, where like it creates an image of him, and it makes them think that he's somewhere that he isn't, and he uses it to, take them down. It's brilliant. It's peak Batman. It's just it feels a lot like some of the fight scenes in the Batman Arkham games, where you could take down like 3-4 guys at once. It was insane. So yeah, that happens. Takes them all down, fights Deathstroke, and then he sort of alludes to the fact that he's got this plan for Gotham. So that's the main crux of the story here, is that Batman has got a plan for Gotham that he really wants to carry out, and we're probably going to see that take place over the next few issues and such. But also there's this other mysterious group that we've not been shown yet that also have their plan, what they're going to do. And obviously they're going to collide, and it's going to be interesting to see. It feels a lot more intelligent than some of the stuff we were having to deal with in the Tom King run. It feels like there's plenty of layers, and they're going to peel off one by one to reveal what the true plan is, which I'm really excited to see. And at the end, he flies off in his new big bat jet that he has, which is pretty exciting to see. Flies off, and then some Joker goons, I'm pretty sure it's Joker goons, they set off explosives and blow up a bridge. And what was that, a bridge? Let me just double check. They blow up something. Actually, I think it was it was a theme park. Sorry about that. It was a theme park they blow up. And this is right at the end, so it acts as sort of like an epilogue to the story, which it was interesting to see. It felt very much like the opening scene from The Dark Knight, which I absolutely love. That opening scene, And I was kind of expecting the Joker to pop up at the end at some point, but he doesn't. And I'll give Tynion credit for withholding the Joker. Like, I like how he used the goons, and he sort of showed that up, and possibly gonna be building up to a conflict with Batman and the Joker again, which, you know, we haven't really seen for a long time. Not a proper confrontation anyway. So I'm excited to see that. So onto the things that I really loved about this issue. You know, just gave you a basic generalization of the story there. The thing that I really love the most about this story, I would have to say, other than the story itself and how it, you know, how it it feels like a proper Batman story again. Like, it's not just Batman moaning about Catwoman not loving him. It feels like it's Batman out there actually, you know, giving a shit about Gotham and the state of where that city is, and just wanting to take down the criminals and stuff, and cure the city of the disease that is crime. It really feels like we're getting back to that again. So I'm loving that. But the thing that I really love is the fucking artwork. The artwork in this is absolutely beautiful. It's by Tony S. Daniel, who I'm not too aware of a lot of his recent stuff. I presume he did. He's done Batman before, maybe in Detective Comics or whatever else. But it's a big step up from a lot of what I saw in the Tom King era, where, and I'm not going to be too harsh here, but the artwork, by and large, during that run was not up to standard. Like, this is Batman we're talking about. This is not some random C-list character. This is the fucking Bat. So, you know, he's DC's premier title, you know, the flagship character. The art should always be top notch. And yeah, all I have to say is, you know, the art here is beautiful. It's great to look at. It really helps create the tone of it really helps capture the tone of the story as well. You know, depressing, somber. It feels like a funeral, if you know what I mean, which fits Batman perfectly. So it does, especially this time in his life, right after Alfred's dead, and he's having to cope with that. And it's just such a it's so refreshing to see after the Tom King era. It feels more like a soft reboot than a hard reboot. Like, obviously they do continue the continuity, like I said, but they're finally taking Batman in a new direction again, and I'm loving what they're doing so far, and I just hope that they keep it up. Also, I really love how Batman's being betrayed here. I went on a lot about how, you know, if this feels like the proper Batman, but like, what I want to get at is that it feels like he's really focused and determined again, and, you know, he has his plan, he has his vision, what he set out to do, and he's doing it. You know, he's not fucking holding back at all. You know, he's not the simpering wuss that he was in the Tom King era. You know, constantly moaning and just whimpering about everything. You know, we're finally getting Batman again, which is amazing. But at the same time, he still feels somewhat vulnerable, because we do get to see how he's coping with losing Alfred. So we do get to see that vulnerable side of him, you know, the human side, and that is displayed perfectly near the end of the story, where he's talking to Lucius Fox, who's sort of acting like Alfred, now taking over his role, in contacting Batman and stuff, or at least in this issue, and he accidentally calls him Alfred at one point, and there's an awkward pause after that, tension's there, and it's captured beautifully. So it really is. It feels like you can feel Batman's loss, so you can, because, you know, not only did he lose his butler, but really he lost Alfred's not just his butler. Alfred's his father. You know, he lost his father essentially, and yeah, you can feel it. That's all I'm saying. It was captured brilliantly, not just through the dialogue, but through the art as well. It was really well paced as well, I'd say. Like, not a lot really happens. There's just a few small events, like the fight scene. I should go into that. One of the big flaws with this story was that the fight scene with Deathstroke was not that great. It only lasted like 2 pages. So I'll be honest, maybe I was expecting a bit too much with it being Deathstroke, and I was expecting, you know, we're going to get this big epic fight. Only really last 2 pages, but, you know, it serves the story for what it is. It wasn't awful. It left a lot to be desired, but, you know, that's obviously not what the focus of the story was. But yeah, the fight scene was okay for what it was, but it was just a small part of the story. But it didn't feel slow. That's the thing. Like, not a lot happened. It did feel like it was the start of the story, but it wasn't slow. It didn't drag at all at any points. I was interested. I was following it every step, every page. every line of dialogue. I was not bored once. And I also loved, I think I mentioned before, I loved the way Batman takes down all the mercenaries during the big conflict. Like I said, just peak Batman. So yeah, some of the things I didn't like I touched upon Deathstroke there, sort of wasted. It was nice to see him, but I do hate when they bring in characters, like big name characters like Deathstroke or I don't know, Two-Face or Poison Ivy, whatever. They have them, but they're just there. They don't really do anything. They do that with the Penguin a lot as well. And it's one thing I'm kind of hoping the new Batman film doesn't really do, is just have the villains just there to be there. But we'll see what happens with that film. You know, not getting off. That's a different topic completely. But you know, it was nice to see him. But you know, like I said, I'd like to see him be used more within the story. But was what it was. Maybe they just wanted to put him there because this was the first issue, and they wanted to really get Batman back and fighting again. So I'll give it that. I'll let it slide this time. Also, Catwoman's still here, which, you know, I really haven't cared a lot for Catwoman in the recent, like the Tom King era. She was just insufferable. But thankfully, I will say here that she was nowhere near as bad in this issue she was under Tom King. Like, she's much better written here, and hopefully this is the start of like a proper return with Catwoman as well, because like, I haven't read any of the new Catwoman comics. I've heard they're really good, but I haven't read any of them. But I just, you know, I want to see her. You know, I want to see all these characters written the way they should be written, or just not written like Tom King writes them. So yeah, I know this is becoming a bit of a running gag, just me ratting on Tom King. You know, I don't hate the guy. You know, I don't have anything against him. I just do not enjoy his Batman. You know, I think he's probably a decent writer. He probably writes some other great stuff, but I do not think his Batman is that good. So yeah, overall thoughts on the first issue. I just have one thing really to say. I could sum it up in 3 words: Batman is back. Like, this is the proper return to Batman. This is the first serious issue of Batman I've really enjoyed in about 4 years. You know, it's saying something, so it is. Like, the story feels serious again. It feels mature. Like, Batman really, at his best, should be. And I'm really excited to see where Tynion takes the character in the next, you know, however long his run is. At the very least, I will be reading the next few issues to try and see where this goes. And like I says, I hope it just gets better and better, because this one issue really did undo a lot of the damage. Not all, but a lot of the damage that Tom King brought down in the character and the book in general. And I'm just excited to see where he goes next with it. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe. You know, more Batman reviews. If you like Batman, subscribe. You know, this isn't a complete Batman channel, but I do talk about comics and the character from time to time, because I am a fan. And yeah, if you've got anything you want to say, put it down in the comments below. If you liked the comic, please tell me. If you disliked it, please tell me. If you actually like Tom King somehow, please put it down in the comments, and you can call me whatever name you want. Fanboy, whatever. Yeah, sure. And I look forward to reading them, and I'll see you guys next time.